Oh, I guess we're live. It didn't give me a countdown. And our signal's been pretty bad here lately around here, I guess due to the storms and whatever, and a lot of construction going on. Hey, this is Mike at Mike's Magic Auto Detailing and Paint Enhancement here in Sharpsburg, Georgia. A sweltering Sharpsburg, Georgia. Oh boy. I didn't do too many videos on this particular vehicle because mostly I do them for the customers, and she never friended me on Facebook or anything. I don't think she does it too much. They were on vacation anyway, so I didn't do too many videos because apparently she wasn't going to be watching. But let's hark back to a couple of before photographs, shall we? Here we go. This is one that I took when it first showed up. Holy cow, let me zoom in a little bit here if I can. Ooh-wee, look at that hood right there, folks. And that right there, holy moly. That is extreme paint damage right there. A little bit of everything from oxidation to stuff that is embedded way down into the clear coat. And look at the headlights too. I had to do those too. Holy moly. Oh yeah, see, I'm pointing at the headlight. See, you can still see the hood pretty good. It's awful, folks, awful. Pretty fair bit of gloss and shine left on this part, you know, and down the sides. But oh man, look at the roof, would you? I think my driveway is shinier than that. That has absolutely no shine and gloss to it whatsoever. None. Pillar poster in bad shape. That's that real cheap stuff they put on there. There's our trunk. Holy cow, look at that. And it also up here on these look at it going up through there. I suspect the causes of this is everything from not great quality paint, being this is an entry-level vehicle, and neglect, and lots of apparently taking his car through lots of tunnel washes with those brushes. A lot of this was brush damage from the car wash, those high alkaline soaps that they use. Recycled water, man. You can see it some more right there going up through there. Holy cow. Down there below the pinstripe. Remember the pinstripe? Man, above the pinstripe there along the doors. Man, that's a lot of damage. We're back to the hood, folks. This is another photograph of the hood after I thoroughly strip washed it with some really strong soap and some pretty aggressive stuff. I don't remember if I had clay barred it at this point. I think maybe I had but you can see a little bit of shine and gloss starting to come back there just from getting it absolutely clean. Oh man. There's the roof after it was strip washed. See, there's it improved it some. You know, this kind of encouraged me a little bit, because when I started on this car, I had not much hope for these horizontal areas and the upper vertical areas on the car. Man, look at that. Oh boy. Back to the hood again. Oh boy. This is a photograph she took before she ever brought it over here, because that's not my yard. I don't have a sidewalk. Anyway, enough of that, you say, Mike. Welcome back, everybody. Shall we take a walk out to my garage and see what it looks like now? Okay, let's grab your coffee and let's go, or your coat, or whatever it is. Oh man, I forgot my pointer. I must have my pointer. Yeah, buddy. Man, I'm tired of this hot weather. It's really hot and sweltering. Yep, and there's Sally sitting out in the driveway where she's been for quite a while now. She is not a happy camper. Because I've had this vehicle in here and that SUV out there in here, swapping them back and forth some. But go back and look at those photos of the hood, would you? Here's what we have now after lots of wet sanding, different grits, compounding, different compounds, different pads, and a final polish with a very soft lake country pad. That, folks, to me, that difference is astounding. Remember, this thing had no shine when she brought it over here. None. It was full and caked with everything. Polished this piece up a little bit. Remember that? It wasn't great. Cleaned all this up. Restored these headlights as best they could be. They were really bad shape. But I was going to try to find something here. See, like, I don't know if y'all could pick up that little cloudy area right there. If y'all could see that. If I can catch the light just right. But if you'll notice, that's right around this ridge line right here. Hey, Ross. And you have to be careful when you're around here. Even though this car measured out to have lots of paint on it, I suspect most of it was base coat and not that much clear coat, or not a very good quality clear coat, because base coat is way cheaper than clear coat, so they have a tendency to go overboard on the base coat. But due to gravity, when they spray these cars, Ross, your clear coat in this area here along that ridge and below the ridge, due to gravity, there's less clear coat here in this area than there would be over here. And so that little cloudy area there, I mean, I worked on it and worked on it and worked on it and worked on it to the point where I felt like I had removed as much clear coat as should be. Don't want to remove any more clear coat than you absolutely have to. And you also have to be cautious in these areas. You will burn through the clear coat if you're not careful. That's why, to me, this is such a slow and tedious process. You go little by little by little by little until you and your paint thickness gauge tell you, okay, that's as good as I'm going to get that spot. I'll show you some more spots, but you know, overall, whew, night and day in my opinion. And there are some areas, like, I don't know if y'all could see that little thing right there. That is something that embedded into the clear coat. Ooh, there it is. Can you see it now, Ross? And it is so far down in the clear coat you cannot even feel it. Everything feels absolutely smooth. So that tells me that I shaved off what was ever on top of the clear coat. But whatever started this might have been bird dookie, who knows. That etched down into the clear coat so far that it is now smooth, and you cannot remove that. You cannot. You will burn your clear coat if you do. Oh boy. Yeah, there's a few spots like that. Ooh, the headlights came out all right. Remember all that oxidation that was here? Remember I said pay attention to the pinstripes? All this was all that was in the budget. She just wanted the hood, the roof, and the trunk deck did. But to try to make it look okay and not such a glaring line of demarcation between where I worked and see, I did not work on any of this at all. See, it's a pretty decent shape, but it could use some love. I came down to the pinstripe with the wet sanding and all that, and I went down to this character line, but only with compound and polish. Did not wet sand any of this except maybe a few spot places. That was all that was in the budget, Ross. I spiffed up the mirrors a little bit just for kicks. Remember all this? This was almost white. Got those, got these. Remember these pillar posts, how terrible they looked? All I did with them was make sure they were absolutely clean, Ross. And then I just used a light finishing polish and a soft pad. You got to be careful with these pillar posts. They can, this paint and stuff they put on here can be very fragile. Sometimes they put PPF on them. And see, now there's a cloudy spot up on the roof. See it? There again, it is absolutely smooth to the touch, and it was my opinion that this has been improved as much as possible. To go any further would be very, very risky. But the whole roof was like that. And, you know, I'd say 95% of all that stuff is now gone. And if this car is properly maintained, it'll stay gone. See, that problem there extends from there down to there. And I'm showing you this, Ross, because when you're doing this kind of work, do not chase perfection. You will get yourself in trouble if you do. You will start removing paint. And I think that that is an area where the clear coat was either gone or severely compromised, and this is base coat that has oxidized. It even moves up into this area a little bit. But hey, as opposed to having the entire roof look like that, a tremendous improvement. My opinion is the only way to fix this is to repaint it. That's my opinion. There are a few smudges here and there. And you know, it keeps coming down. Usually it sticks around the edges. Remember what I told you about the clear coat being thinner around and close to the edges? You know, I think that's just a smudge right there. But it's all been done, and it's all been sealed with TR8, which is a titanium sealant. You know, with this car, it just didn't make much sense in putting a coating on it. Remember all that oxidation that was here and right below the pinstripes here? That's all gone, all gone. Remember that awful trunk? Oh boy, that thing was awful. Look at it now, would you, brother? That is like a mirror almost. See, I'll look over into it. But you can clearly see that's reflection of the garage door up there. Got all this. Now see, I did not do this. See how that is right there, Ross? Because that was not in the budget. So I didn't really attack any of this except for strip washing it and clay barring it and that kind of stuff. Deconning it. Chemical decon and mechanical decon, as they call it. Ooh-wee. Some deep scratches right there. No way to get those. Ooh-wee. They don't even come close to passing the fingernail test. Spiffed up the tail lights a little bit for her. Got wheels, and well, those are wheel covers. Wheels and tires, absolutely, which had been awfully neglected over time. There's a spot right there just above that pinstripe that I could not get. That's just the way it goes, you know. I'd say I'm at 95, 98% on this thing. And considering the awful shape that this was in, this is probably one of the worst cars I've ever done as far as paint correction goes. But there again, man, we got a lot of shining gloss there going there. See, there's another one of those spots, Ross, like I showed you on the other side. There's also one right there. I'm showing you this just to show that you cannot fix everything at this level. To go after that, too risky. Much, much too risky. So, if it hadn't been neglected for so long, Mike could have got that stuff. But you get stuff like this after you wet sand, you compound, and you polish thoroughly and meticulously, and you still have stuff like this. So you can feel of it, and I know you can't, but I can feel of it, and there's no texture there at all. It's perfectly smooth. So that tells me whatever this is, maybe some paint guys out there can tell you that whatever this is has penetrated the clear coat, and you cannot get to it at this point. It's too deep down. But at least it's a shiny, cloudy spot. And a few places like that in and around the vehicle. Cleaned all this rubber gaskets up and plastic trim up pretty good. See, those pillar posts came out nicely too. But but they weren't restored. As once again, that was not in this budget. They could be made to look much, much better. And one thing I did notice, Ross, I don't know if you guys can pick it. See those marks there on that? That's rubber. Those are from a buffer, from somebody previously buffing this a long time ago. Not from my buffer, because if you go back and look at the photographs, you'll see I tape all this off when I'm wet sanding or buffing, so that I don't do that sort of thing. Clean that mirror up a little bit. Oh boy. I think she's looking pretty good, Mr. Ross. What do you say? Go back, if you didn't see them, Ross, at the very beginning of this video, I showed some of the photographs. This thing is like a totally different vehicle now. And see, from back here, I can see right up there, there's some more of that cloudy stuff. There again, too close to the edge right there to go after a whole lot of correction, although it was corrected, but that was as good as it got. You could attack it some more, but again, I tell you, I think it'd be very risky. Absolutely no texture to it whatsoever. Smooth as glass. It's just one of those things, after damage gets to a certain point, you're just stuck with it. Just stuck with it. If you don't watch out, you'll sand and buff the paint right off of the car. That's what they call burning through the paint, burning through the clear coat. You have to be very, very careful not to do that. Particularly when you're working on entry-level cars like this, where the paint's not as high quality as they are on some of the, mid-level, high-level, like luxury cars and that kind of stuff. This car's not going to have the quality paint on it, say, that a Mercedes or something like that would have. It's just not. Or a Mustang like mine. That Mustang there is considered an entry-level car. It's going to have okay paint on it. Probably about the same quality as this. Maybe a little bit better because it's much older, before they really started cutting down on cost. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. But fortunately, according to the paint thickness gauge, there was a good bit of paint on this car, so it left us with a pretty good amount of options in most places. But there's still some work, some love that could be done down the sides. If you're hard to make it show up on camera, a lot of scratches and micro marring and stuff and blah 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 that could be attacked. But she's not sure how long she's going to keep this vehicle, and I don't know that she's going to keep it long enough. She said she might sell it here within the next couple of months. I don't know. So at this point, I think most people would be happy with this as a used car from 2012 that's been beat. Mechanically, it seems fine. So I'm not sure it would be worth her investing any more money into this car. But when she gets here, she can look at it and make what I call a value judgment to determine if she wants any more done to it. But in her situation with this vehicle, I kind of doubt whether she'll want any more done to it. As I said, I think most people driving around in this car as a daily driver, a grocery getter, that kind of thing, would be pretty happy with it. Especially compared to where it was. Does it look brand new? No. Is it going to look brand new? Not unless you have it repainted. But it's very, very close. And like some of this paint, like I didn't do any paint correcting like down here at all, Ross. This has just all been strip washed, what we call a strip wash. It's been chemically deconned, it's been mechanically deconned, been paint prepped, and then that titanium sealant was put on everything. So it looks pretty good, especially from a couple of feet away. I mean, there's some, somebody backed into something down here, some deep scratches down there, but hey, I can't do nothing about that anyway. There's some scratches there and some dings and dongs on the back bumper. I don't know. I had a few paint chips, like right there. That's a paint chip. Nothing I can do about that. Nothing. I think you can see right down here, somebody's beat this back bumper up. I don't know what was going on. Because this is, you can tell that's loose. So I don't know what's happened there. Neither here nor there. I cleaned up the glass a little bit. Didn't do any extensive stuff on that. There again, not in the budget. There's a cloudy spot right there. Oh boy. But I'm very happy with how it turned out, Ross. I did not think it was going to turn out near this well. I had no hope whatsoever that I would be able to achieve these kind of results. But if you have a car like this and you start to go after it, just make sure you do not get in a hurry. It's diligence and patience, know-how, proper equipment, proper cars. The main buffer I used on this car, Ross, that buffer, for example, I think cost about $500-600. So this is not a Harbor Freight buffer. Makes a big, big, big difference. Can you get there with a Harbor Freight buffer, or, entry-level, retail-level buffer? Maybe. Maybe not. And the pads, the wool pad I was using some of the time, one of those pads cost about $30, just one pad. The rest of them, the smaller ones, are about, I don't know, $5-6 a piece. But you go around, this part of the car, maybe down to there, with one of those small pads, they gunk up and tear up quicker than the bigger pads do. They're pretty much done on a car like this. You can throw them away. Done. Go in the house and order some more. Don't try to stretch your pads out, and always work with a clean pad. Never put a product on a pad you just finished polishing with. Never. Hey, Mr. Corbett. But, hey, like I say, I'm happy with it. I never thought it would turn out as good as it did. But like I said, it was just a lot of patience, a lot of diligence. The right products, the right equipment, the right pads. Starting out trying the least aggressive and then moving up as need be. Go back and look at the photographs of these areas. Man, there was no shine. None. It looked like my driveway out there. I'm serious. Go back and look at those photographs if you hadn't seen them already. A little bit of dust coming up on everything. That's all right. But I do appreciate y'all dropping by, spending a few minutes with me. Hey, you know what they say? Like, tag, share, follow, thumbs up, thumbs down. Make a comment. Ask questions if you need to. It's no big deal. I'll answer them. I spent about an hour on the phone with a fellow the other day explaining all this kind of stuff to him, and he decided he was just going to leave the car the way it was. But I gave him some pointers on some simple things he could do to try and improve his car. Probably talked myself out of some money, but you know what? That's okay. If he wants to try it, let him try it. That's fine. No big deal to me. I'd rather try to help somebody figure it out on their own than just automatically jump in and come over here and drop it off and spend a bunch of money on me. Because my level of detailing is not regular detailing. I tell a lot of people, hey, you're just as well off calling one of your local mobile guys that doesn't really do a lot of paint correction. They might do a little paint enhancement or whatever, because most people, all they want is a wash and shine. They don't really want all this done to a car. You could have washed this one all you want to, put all the wax on it you want to. It was not gonna shine. So this one definitely had to have a much higher level of quote unquote detailing. But I appreciate you folks. Y'all have a great day now. I think it's a little cooler today than it has been, but I'm getting tired of sweating all day, every day. Hey, that's part of it. That's part of it. All right, folks, I appreciate you. Have a great one. Bye-bye.